There's a team in Washington that had adversity. I mean, I don't think there's ever been a professional team that has had more adversity. Their ownership was hated by everybody, seemingly. Their team had been completely left behind by their own fan base. Everybody thought that this place was a dump. And not only just a dump as the way they were operating, but their stadium was actually dumping dumps on people as their pipes were bursting, and there was no chance of a new stadium being built because nobody wanted to do business with these people. Then comes a sale of a team, then comes new ownership, then comes new everything, and all of a sudden, this team is hot to trot. New stadium coming, new team coming, and the new general manager that had been tasked with building this entire thing up started with the Patriots, then he went to the Broncos, then he was with the Niners. Now, the general manager of the Washington Commanders, ladies and gentlemen, Adam Peter.
Yay. Hey, what's up, guys? What's going on?
Hey, I heard that you caught the tail end of our CONCAFA conversation there. We got some very, very, very important, crucial parts of our team injured here just about a month before a tournament. So we're going to have to make some good decisions. Any help you can send our way, we will certainly take it, Josh. Or Adam, sorry.
I think you guys got to learn about Leeds United football team.
Is that
going into the Premier League?
Is that your
big deal?
Are you a football guy, a football guy? Do you pay attention?
Yeah, awesome. It's awesome. And Leeds, we just got promoted, so I'm a proud investor of the Leeds United football team. We're going to be playing against Josh Harris's Crystal Palace, so it's going to be a lot of fun.
Okay, well, good luck to your team. And if J.J. Watt's Burnley team does what it did the last time it got promoted, that'll be an easy win for you guys. And then they'll be dropping right back down into the second league. I said Josh there, and you just mentioned Josh Harris. Let's talk about that. Whenever he comes in, he's tasked with flipping a brand back into something that is likable for the fans, for the city, for the league, you name it. What has it been like to be within that building while you guys are going through this like resurgence of relevancy and almost a resurgence of affability for the program? How have you maintained focus on building a team while also understanding that this isn't just about football, it's about the entirety of the operation?
Yeah, I think that was one of the biggest reasons why I really wanted to have this job. And the fact that this is a cornerstone franchise of the NFL, a place where, you know, growing up, this was the team you were watching, hearing about DC in the area and RFK, and then coming and Josh being the owner and him having that vision of bringing this back, being a steward of this DMV area, and just really was appealing to me. So I really wanted to get this job, and so far it's been awesome. I mean, being a part of this, being just around everything that's happening, all the excitement, the stadium, the draft now, just really feel really grateful and thankful that I'm here.
Yeah, it feels like there's a positive momentum behind everything that you're doing. That all begins and ends with how great Jayden Daniels was in his first year. And how did that kind of feel, knowing that you got the guy immediately almost? What week into the season did you know that Jayden Daniels was going to be the cornerstone of a cornerstone franchise for probably the next couple of decades here?
Well, I think it was just a process of everything from the moment he got in here, the moment we flew him in for interviewing for him after we drafted him, and he wanted to go through the playbook while he was here, and he was doing like dropbacks on the plane back to flying back to LA, and just every step of the way you could see the humility that he had, the work ethic that he had, just the way he connected with his teammates out. The fields are right over here, like out on the grass, and the way he went about everything. He earned everything he had, and so it was just kind of a step-by-step process, but you could feel it right away what a special person he was.
Okay, in the first round this year draft, you go with a big guy out of Oregon, offensive tackle Josh Connerly Jr. There was a letter from Cliff Kingsbury that you showcased on draft night that he showed up and said, hey, take the big guy from Oregon, okay? We need to protect him. You couple that alongside a trade that you make this offseason with Tunsil. Felt like, was this a focal point for you? We need to solidify the people in front of our superstar, Jayden Daniels, or was this a situation where you couldn't believe he was available?
I think it was both, really. I think in the offseason when we had the opportunity to get Tunsil, which, you know, it doesn't come around that often to get a blue chip left tackle, one of the best left tackles in the league. So we felt that was an opportunity that we didn't want to pass up. And for the reasons you're talking about, like we want to protect Jayden and really he's the cornerstone of our franchise. We want to make sure we're protecting him. And then, so we got that done, and then we really wanted Connerly. And that letter was cool because, Cliff, he's a tireless worker. It's unbelievable how much he works. And as he's doing draft prep, he's also watching college teams for different plays and different scheme and just different things he can learn from them so he can implement into what we do. And he watched a lot of Oregon. So he said, I watched every single snap of Oregon. And he usually just watches the skill guys, the quarterbacks, receivers, tight ends, running backs. And so he left that note on my desk. He came by to say what's up and just wrote that down and left it on my desk. I was like, all right, well, if Cliff wants this guy, then I'm good.
How about Josh Connerly, no matter what, draft day seemingly from Cliff Kingsbury to you? I thought there was a chance he wrote 30 different letters, though, just in case. Hey, make sure this, make sure this, make sure this, so you would have a letter for it. I appreciate the fact that it's all hands on deck over there, and it feels like your culture is a great one. Were you worried that Cliff was going to leave, or did you know that Cliff had it good right now, and maybe another year with Jaden in that offense could be something special under Dan Quinn, as opposed to taking on all the challenges of becoming a head coach again? Feel like a lot of people wanted Cliff to be their head coach this offseason.
Yeah, and rightfully so. He's a great coach and he's a great person. But I think what's cool about here is what the culture DQ has created, where people want to be here, people want to stay here. They're having fun working, they're having fun playing. So it makes it an easy decision. If it's not your perfect role that you want to move up to, whether it's head coach or something else, you have a great home here. And really that's how I felt when I was in San Francisco under John Lynch, where I really loved being there. But if there was the great opportunity came like it did with Washington, then I could take it. But if not, then I'm really, really happy here. And that's the culture that DQ's created within the staff here.
I love that. Lynch sent me a text today saying, hey, be good to Adam Peters. He's my guy. So he's obviously still watching and probably learning a little bit from everything that you're doing. And you guys did some business. D-Butt has a question for you.
Yeah, talking about that business you did with John Lynch and the San Francisco 49ers. Trade for Deebo Samuel. You were talking about Cliff and his offense and the Oregon offense, and it kind of blends well with what Deebo does, getting that ball in his hands early. He's a nightmare, I know, for DBs when he has that ball in space. I believe you guys led the league in hurry-up offense plays last year. So what went into that trade, getting Deebo from San Fran?
Yeah, that was really cool. It was actually at the Combine. I was hanging out with Lynch at lunch, and we started talking about it. And, obviously there's a lot of talks that go into it, but knowing Deebo from when we drafted him to just the competitor that he is on the field, he's one of the best competitors on the field I've ever seen in my life. And just he can put a team on his back and will you to win. So understanding what type of person he was, understanding that I worked with John, and he's going to be awesome to deal with, and then understanding our offense, which is getting the ball out of Jaden's hands quickly, and he's really good at that, and getting the ball in space and moving fast. That's going to present a lot of problems for defenses.
Deebo is a slant god. I mean, you got Terry McLaurin, obviously, could go out there. You bring in Deebo. You got the running back. You obviously
get paid too.
You got a lot. I mean, feels like Jaden Daniels is being set up to succeed. And I feel like that's the right thing to do with a young quarterback, especially whenever he's showcased an ability to maybe be a top 5 guy already. Go ahead, AJ.
Yeah, Adam, with everything we hear from going on in the front office, there's you're like a real collaborative effort. You kind of take everyone's opinion. And I know I guess you put together a research and development team, like an analytics squad that I hear about, that kind of help you evaluate players, especially draftable guys. Can you talk about what that team is and how many people you truly are listening to going into a draft?
Yeah, we're listening to everybody in the building, AJ, and the R&D team especially. It's really cool because it feels like there's 14 people in this one little office. It's like a big think tank, and they're all really smart and they're all really passionate. And like a cool story this year was when we drafted Trey Amos, who's like an R&D darling. We call him analytics, we call him R&D. But when we drafted him, you could hear like a roar from like 2 doors down because we drafted him and that he fell to us, which was really awesome. But all his metrics were incredible. But listening to them and being they're passionate about whether we're making a trade, whether we're making a draft pick, whether we're signing a free agent. but then there's also the coaching aspect, and of course the scouting aspect, and everybody working together in unison and collaborating. It's been really cool, and we're just getting started. I think we're going to get better and better as the years go on.
Can we talk about your 4th round pick, Jalen Lane? 434 Humanitarian Award in Virginia. A lot of people are saying maybe the best returner in the sport. How do you get a 434 guy at pick 128? I didn't even know that was possible in the NFL. I legitimately had no idea. How excited were you to make this pick? And obviously it's a 4th rounder, and that the odds of a 4th rounder becoming megastar, superstar, obviously a little bit more difficult. But I didn't know you could find 434 humanitarians at pick 128, brother. I legitimately had no idea.
Yeah, that's a really cool stat, the Humanitarian Award. The cool thing about that one is on Saturdays before the draft, we get everybody in the room, all the scouts, the coordinators, R&D, and we do this thing. We actually took it from San Francisco. We call it the Commanders Caucus, which is a weird name, but we kind of did the
love a good caucus, dude. Love a good caucus.
So with Jalen, he was everybody gets a chance to vote on who is their favorite player that they want to draft on day 3. It's really, day 3 is a scouts day, so it's awesome. Like, everybody is involved. It's really cool. So we went around the room, and he had by far the most votes of anybody in the room. So for there, you have the buy-in from the R&D, you have the buy-in from the coaches who also voted, you have the buy-in from all of our scouts, and it's just a matter of, all right, well, hopefully he'll get to us, because you really have buy-in from everybody in the building. So he was our number 1 returner in the draft. Larry Izzo was one of the people that voted for him, so it all worked out really well. He fell to us, which we were really excited about, and that was an easy pick. He's awesome, and he's, he just had his birthday the other day. He's getting married this summer. He's incredible. So I can't wait. He's coming here Thursday, so I can't wait to meet him in person. Our coaches worked him out down there. Just really one of those ones where you really want to happen, and it did, and you feel really good about those.
Well, happy birthday, Jalen. I have no idea how you got. A lot of people slid in the draft, and it was talked about. 434 humanitarian best returner in fallen. And that is
that's the best way to put it right there.
I don't know how that. I didn't know that story. I didn't know that till this morning, Adam. I was mind blown as we were looking into this guy, because the Washington Commanders PR people, good people, sent us over a list of shit that has happened this offseason with you guys. We start reading through it, and it's like Jalen Lane 434 pick 128. I'm like 434 128. Then we start looking into him. It's like must have had some problems or something. Must have been. And you're like, no, I actually won a humanitarian one. It's like what? How is that even? How did that happen? How did he?
40-inch vert.
Yes. Unbelievable.
11-foot broad.
He tested incredibly. He's a special athlete. He's all of those things. You can see it on the field too.
Yeah, the R&D department's like 434 40-inch vert humanitarian. I know we don't normally deal with the humanitarian stuff, but feels like there is a chance he could be
future Walter Payton Man of the Year.
Yeah, Walter Payton Man of the Year returner. I mean, especially with this new kickoff that they have, the hybrid kickoff. Dynamic hybrid kickoff. I mean, it's good for you, dude. Good for you. Feels like you're swinging a hot bat over there right now. Yep. Feels like life is good right now. Conman has a question for you.
Yeah, Adam, clips are coming out now from the draft, and this one was actually from the Eagles YouTube team, I believe, and it was basically Howie Roseman calling you to try and trade up, and I don't know if it was your idea or if this came from R&D, but Howie basically hung up and said, Mr. Peters is going to be charging an in-division tax when it comes to trading up. Was that a real conversation? What were you charging Howie? Was this, like a late-round pick, an extra one, or were you asking for, like, hey, you're going to need to give us, like, a Jalen Carter if you want to come up here?
That was actually me busting his chops on TV because he did that to me. And so that part they left out. But my first time talking to Howie, he was trying to trade me a player last offseason. It was like the first phone call we had. He's like, yeah, well, we can do this or that, but, because you're in division, there's a tax. You're going to have to pay a little more. And so that was just me throwing it back at him, and we were just joking around about it. But it's actually really fun. He's a great guy. He's a great GM, obviously, and he's awesome to deal with. We've done 2 deals already together, and we'll probably do more. But, it was just us back and forth having fun.
How often do you think about the NFC East and how difficult it is? Obviously, it has the Super Bowl champion in it now, so you have to think about the Super Bowl champion, but that division is no cakewalk. And the Philadelphia Eagles seemingly built for the next 5 years, at least, at all the key positions that you need to have a win. How often are you thinking about the Eagles? And when you do business with these people, how often do you think, like, I can't give them the piece that gives them the edge over us? Is that a natural thought, or are you just thinking about your team and how you can get better when you're doing stuff?
Yeah, I mean, you're always thinking about that. You're always thinking about how to beat every team in your division, every team in your conference, like every single second and every single day. Like that's what I stay up at night thinking about. But in terms of those trades, those are risks that you have to take. Now, do I think, you can't be scared of making those trades if you think they're going to, you're worried about the press clippings and all that. You're trying to make the best decision for your own team. And if you think that's the best decision for your own team to help win, then do it. But if you're scared about it, you probably won't make the right decision.
How has the press been over there? They got to love you guys. I mean, obviously you've been around the league a long time, so you know what the Washington team has been like for a long time. And I think everybody in the NFL was hoping for a little bit of positive change. Obviously, the fans were looking for a positive change. I assume the media was looking for a positive change. You guys kind of brought that. Is it kind of like I assume it's a very positive experience right now over there in Washington?
Yeah, they're great. They first of all, they work extremely hard. They're diligent. They ask great questions. They're really respectful. They're awesome to work with. So I think coming in and having Josh here and then myself and DQ coming in, I think they've been really, really respectful to us, and it's been awesome to work with them. So I have no issues there, and it's been positive so far, and I know it's not always going to be that way, but they've been awesome.
Well, you keep bringing greatness to the city. I think people are going to be pumped about it. On that note, Ty has a question for you.
Yeah, Adam, Pat mentioned swinging a hot bat earlier. It was announced yesterday that the draft's going to be in Washington, D.C. in 2027, and I didn't grow up a Commanders fan. I don't think any of us did, but getting a new stadium on the site of RFK, obviously people who have been lifelong Commanders fans are going crazy about that. Because you've been in the league for so long, did you ever imagine that there would be a time, especially when you were running the team, that Washington would basically become like the epicenter of the NFL world like you guys kind of have been this offseason?
It's so cool. I can't even put into words. Like just being a part of that, being at when we announced the RFK and being in the audience there, being able to be a part of that and being around John Riggins, Doug Williams, Darryl Green. Just all the greats here, Joe Gibbs, and it was just fantastic to be there. And just like I had to step back and really think about it. And I thanked Josh. I was like, gosh, this is why I came here for things like this. And then announcing the draft here, which will be awesome. I won't be able to participate in it at all because I'll just be right here, which kind of sucks. But it'll be really cool for the whole DMV and just our nation's capital as the epicenter of football. I think there's nothing better than that.
Commanders fans going to show up for that, right? Yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah, in droves, from everywhere.
Green Bay,
DC, Virginia, Maryland. That's gonna be awesome.
Adam, Green Bay was packed out. Detroit, packed out. Pittsburgh next year, going to be packed out. That's a big area there, isn't it?
It's going to be and if it's cold.
Oh, there's a little weather.
I think we're going to be all right. I think we're going to be all right.
Okay.
Whatever the record is, we're going to break it. Our fans.
I like the confidence. I forgot. It's a brand new Washington team over there. Brand new. How do you, whenever you say it, do you say go Commanders? Or do you say we are Commanders? Bam, 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 bam. What do you say whenever you
stand up?
Who are we?
The Commanders.
Fight for old DC.
Oh, fight for old DC.
Hail to the Commanders.
Okay. Do you like the name?
Love it.
I mean, you got it.
Can't say it.
No, honestly, we've embraced it. We've like our players have embraced it. We've embraced it. What a commander is. We've defined what a commander is. So I think everybody's all in on it. So we're pumped, and we're gonna keep going with it until they tell us not to.
Well, and if you win with it, if you've embraced the culture, embraced the name, and you win with it, I think everybody else will buy in as well. I think that's all anybody cares about. And it feels like Jaden's going to be leading you boys to a lot of that. Now, let's talk about what the building has done. You said you thanked Josh for everything that's possible and why you came to Washington. It feels like the players are thanking Josh as well. Tone has a question for you.
Yeah, Adam, Pat referenced the one sheet that your PR sent over, and one of the main things on here is the 2023 NFLPA report card grades versus the 2024 NFLPA report card grades. I assume that is a big deal for you guys. How involved are you in that? And I assume the 2025 grades are going to continue to just go in the correct direction.
Hated families.
Yeah, I think what's funny about that is Josh came out and it was a great line. He said, "I'm not an F- guy," and and he put his money where his mouth is, and he invested a ton of money in this place. And again, the fields are over here. There's an AstroTurf field out here. When I got here, I couldn't believe it. It's a grass field that our guys were practicing on today and practicing.
Hold on. You guys had an AstroTurf field?
AstroTurf, like scuff your elbows. You played on it. I played on it.
Cement with
I
rug.
don't think AJ played on it. Maybe you and AJ didn't play on it, but in high school maybe. But it was still here last year. I couldn't believe it. I thought it was like I saw it on a stock photo on Google. I thought it was like a photo from like 20 years ago. It was like a photo from last week. And it was unbelievable. I was like, what is this thing? And then, but to Josh's credit, I said, Josh, we got to get rid of this thing. This is terrible. And he said, do it. And that's what he said about everything. And from our kitchen to our locker room, to our meeting rooms, to our stadium, to the locker room at the stadium, everything that we've asked for, he's done it. He said, will this be good for the players? And we said, yeah, and this is why. And he said, go ahead and do it. So I can't take credit for that. DQ, like both of us worked really hard on it, but it was really Josh saying, okay, go do it. And we're not even done. We're building a new locker room right now. There's a ton of construction going on. They're going to get a new locker room. So those grades that were on the right-hand side there, they should be going up too. That locker room F hopefully will not be an F anymore based on what we're spending. And the rest of it is going to be really good. And just the human capital that we have in here, I think, is our biggest asset. The people that are working here, the scouts, the operations people, the coaches, the chefs, like you name it, the trainers, PR. You guys know the PR guys they're incredible. So that's what we have that I don't think other buildings have. We're never going to have all the bells and whistles that some places have, but combined with newer things for the players, with all the people that we have, it's going to be a great place to be.
New stadium coming, new locker room coming. Feels like you do have all the bells and whistles that everybody else has. If you have good food, good locker room, good stadium.
Yes.
I think you're going to get thumbs up, basically, with everybody. And you're not giving yourself any credit there. Yeah, good equipment guys, good training guys, good humans. You're not giving yourself enough credit there, though, because it was an F- in the locker room.
Yeah.
Correct.
It moved to an F, if you see. It was an F-. It moved up to an F.
You guys did something.
Yes.
Poop pipes didn't burst.
I think it was the humans that were potentially in charge. Well, we shouldn't give them an F-. We like these people, right? We like them. They're trying at least. Yeah, just an F. Just an F. All right, sounds good. F-.
That's tough.
So I don't.
Yeah,
I haven't.
I've never seen that before.
Yeah, I didn't fill out any of these report cards ever. These came post, I think, my career, and I wasn't asked. I do like that F- is an option.
Yeah.
Like an F isn't bad enough. Is it F-? We need the lowest form of F that you could possibly get. And then is there an ineptitude option down there that's like worse than F-?
I don't think it's much worse than F-. And that first one, the first column, that treatment of families, is something you don't really think about coming into the league. I know I got drafted by the Patriots. And, that was a huge thing with the Patriots as far as the treatment of the family. Post-game, it'll be a private area for all the family, have some food, mingle with all the different players. That was always awesome. Colts were awesome as well with the family. But, yeah, that's a big deal. But damn.
3 F- out of 11, 5 total Fs out of 11 in 2023. I think there was a chance that the players hated everything.
Yeah.
Hey, why don't you vote on the training staff? Nah, we hate everybody, dude. F. Not an F-.
Hey.
But an F.
Strength coaches, though?
Dahn.
Coaches are awesome. They're their only A, right? That first year?
Yeah.
I think that tells me that strength coaches are telling the players, listen, this is a shithole.
We know.
Okay, this is what this is.
But it's ours.
But it's ours. Okay, we got to get through here. That feels like the only way that could be an A. There is the strength coaches go, listen, I know the locker room's trash. I know the training room's trash. I know the training staff, bunch of assholes. I know the treatment of families, worst ever. But we got the next hour to get better in here. Let's go ahead and do it. I'm on your side, not on this team side. Shout out to the strength coaches.
Shout out.
Rallying there and sticking around. AJ has the last question for you, Adam. We appreciate your time on this glorious Tuesday.
Yeah, Adam, Pat mentioned that you worked for the Patriots, Broncos, and Niners before you got to Washington. I guess, how long ago did you start envisioning yourself as a GM and start building your whole plan? Because you've had a lot of success before you got there, and I believe you're part of 3 Super Bowl rings already. Was it something that was always your goal to be the GM, and kind of how has that influenced you and what you're doing now?
Yeah, I think it really didn't become a reality or a possibility till I got to San Francisco. But starting in New England, getting a great foundation there, Darius knows about that. I think I left right when he was coming in. I missed him. That was my one draft where I was in between teams. I was on a beach in Santa Cruz watching the draft on my phone, and it was the best draft I've ever had. And then but a great pick by the Patriots there. But then getting to Denver and understanding how you can work differently and still win, which is awesome. And working with John Elway, working with Matt Russell, and then Gary Kubiak came in, and then being in San Francisco with Kyle and John and the ownership there with Jed and the York family, understanding, okay, this is how a team should be run, and starting to really formulate my mind around that and trying to bring all the great things of all of those 3 places to here as much as possible. We're just getting started, but really just understanding it's the people that make the place and getting great people around here. And so that was really what we tried to do when we came in here. And first hire was getting DQ, and that was the best hire we could make. And he's been even better than expected and getting better every day. And then our staff around that. And so it's not myself, it's everybody. It's the people that are around me that really make this place. And it's been so much fun, and it's a lot of hard work, but it's been awesome, and really excited for what's to come.
I assume it's very fulfilling to see it kind of all work and see a city come back to life and a football fan base feel like they're a part of the actual conversation of winning again, as opposed to the conversation of being a dump again. You mentioned DQ there being a massive piece of it all as well. And we saw him obviously go from Seattle down to Atlanta. 28-3 happens. He has massive success. Then he goes over to Dallas. He puts the backwards hat on. He is the DC. He has magic. How important was it to get a guy who maybe had head coaching experience before as the head coach? And how much do you think all the experience that DQ has had around the league before he got there has helped him? Because everybody sings his praises.
Yes.
And whenever he's mic'd up, it's must watch. This guy is an electric factory, it feels like. Has he always been that way, or do you think he's kind of changed along the way and now's the perfect time for him to be the head coach of your team?
Yeah, I think when we went through the hiring process, I knew a lot about DQ from Kyle and everybody on Kyle's staff because they all came from Atlanta. So understanding the type of person that he was, the type of human being that he was, and then in the interview process, seeing he had done everything once and how prepared he was for the next role and how ready he was for his next chance. And so those things made us all really excited about him as a head coach. And then the way he connects with our players, the way he connects with our coaches, the way he develops players and coaches, and the plan that he has, authenticity that he has. Free agency last year, he made it easy for us because everybody wanted to come play here. And it wasn't because of me. It wasn't because of the AstroTurf. It was because of DQ. And so he made our jobs easy. Players from all around the league, either who played for him or heard about him, understood what type of person he was, what type of coach he was. And, that really, really was a big deal in getting all the guys that we got in last year because, as you guys said, this wasn't a destination. And so people had to really, kind of take a chance on us, and they did because of DQ, and it's been fantastic.